Today I would like to show you how to design a heat exchanger from scratch using sphereneNXT. After entering the platform and opening a new project, you should go to Envelope and click to upload and take your fluidic region to the software. Apply it. So this is my fluidic region. Notice this does not have any walls. We are only creating and designing the internal part of it. Of course, you can create a shell for that later in your CAD tool without any problem. Okay, so now I have my fluidic region. What I need to do is to also upload my inlets and outlets. So they're already there. So I go to File, Import from Computer, Inlet Cold. I keep them as single mesh. The one. This time, flat cold. I still keep them as single mesh. We're back to here. Inlet hot. Keep them as single mesh. And eventually outlet hot. This one also, I keep them as single mesh. So I have my inlets and outlets. You might ask why inlets and outlets are so long because of the possibility to do the CFD analysis on that in simulation to avoid possible errors over there. Okay, so now I have everything ready. My envelope has been already chosen by default, and this is my envelope. Now I go to cell parameters. Click on cell parameters. The structure I want to have in my fluidic region is going to be ADMS, flow ADMS. This design is more useful for fluidic applications to avoid the pressure drop. The method I would usually go with cell size, so you only get one parameter. So you're open to choose constant value, but in this example, I would like to go with a point map, which I already make it ready. So I click on this. You can choose your points yourself by clicking on cell size point map. You can choose surfaces and get a density gradient based on that. But I would like to import from file. So click on this, upload the CSV file of the point map that you have. This CSV file can come from the stress point maps or handmade point maps based on your needs. So I click on this, open it, and apply. Okay, so this point map has 937 points. As you can see, I chose it for a cell size, meaning that the cell size in the center would be the smallest, and you would have more density in the center, and around the inlet and outlets, you would have bigger cell size, meaning bigger room for entering your fluids. Okay, so if I click on my main fluidic region and make it a bit transparent, you see your points much better there. Okay, good. So now I don't need the surface bias here. Next thing to do is to create channels. I go to cavity here to close one channel for cold and one channel for hot. So only have them connected with the desired channels. Okay, so let me take this back to not transparent. Okay, so go to cavity. And now I can either pick a surface, but as I do have an object here, I click on the add object. So I start with the hot inlet and choose the front cavity for that. Okay, so I add another object. This is necessary to choose the same type of cavity for same inlet and outlet. Okay, so I go to the hot outlet here, and I also choose it as front cavity. This command closes one of those channels, which will be the cold channel. Okay, so add another object, go to cold inlet this time, and for inlet cold, I need to close the other channel. Okay, so back cavity, add another object, click on the outlet cold, and then click on back cavity again, apply, and they all turn to red, meaning that they have been chosen as a cavity. Here in the notebook, you can see them over there. All right, good. So now after that, what I want to do is to, I will abort all these. I may come back to flow direction and I show you what is the effect of that. But at this moment, I go to solid, thickening the surface. For your thickness, you can also have a gradient. In this example, I do not want to make it too complicated. I would just pick a constant value of 1 millimeter. But similar, you can click on this and you either have a point map yourself. If you want somewhere to be thicker and somewhere to be thinner, you can pick a surface for that, or you can also import from file. Notice you cannot import the same file that you imported for your cell size because the amounts will change dramatically. Okay, so you might need a cell size of 8 to 22 millimeters, while for your thickness, you might only need 1 millimeter, or you can put it from 0.5 to 1 millimeter. You need to adjust the numbers for this. Okay, apply. Good. So my thickness already been applied here. Go to modification. In this one, I do not use any of these options except printability improvements. I just want to fix overhangs. If there's any overhang in my structure, I want to avoid that to have a better printability. Apply it. Good. And then I go to compute button. So I click on compute. And here I put it as number 1 with region, or let's say X number 1, setting for heat exchanger. And here's very important, your output type, solid surface. It only gives you the walls. If you want to get channels, hot channel and cold channel, with activating only this chamber, you will get channel hot and channel cold too. Okay, so this is extremely useful for CFD analysis. So I apply it and it starts running. First few seconds would be just to prepare your example. And after that, it starts the calculation. Okay, so the computation is over and your structure is ready, but you see everything as it was before. Why? Because you activated chamber cold and hot also, and all of their color is gray. So you can change their color by clicking on this button. I would make one of them blue, let's say. Well, actually, it should be red. Okay. This color. And the other one would be blue. This color. Okay. And you have the solid in the center. If you only want to see the walls, let me hide the inlets and outlets. Okay. So if you only want to see the structure here, I'm going to hide the cell size too. This is the walls that you got, and this will be 3D printed. Here is the hot channel. As you can see, there has no connection with the cold channels here. And here is your cold channel. Right, so there's no connection between those. It's already separated very cleanly. And when I add the cavities here, sorry, not an outlets here, you'll see that it's a fully functional heat exchanger. Now, you might say, all right, this is cool, but what I want is to be a better flow from point A here to point B. Okay, for that specific need, what we can do is to go back to surface and click on flow direction. So by assigning a flow direction, your structure can direct the flow better in certain direction that you're looking for. All right, so for this one also you can go with constant vector or point maps or geometry map or import from file. I don't want to make it overcomplicated. I would just go with a constant vector. I put x as 1 and z as 0, because you can see here, I want to go from point A to point B in the x direction. Okay, the magnitude, I'm going to go with 80%. I think this is a good magnitude for a healthy structure. So I apply this one, and you see 80 number, the percentage, and the direction. Okay, Same thing, I do not change anything else. Just go to compute and change this name to hex underline 2. Here we go. Apply. And I wait for computation. Okay, so the computation is over, and as you can see, my structure has changed dramatically. So you can see the flow being directed in the X direction much more than before. If I want to do a cross section, I go to here, settings, cross section, and enable it. On cross section in Z direction, and I want it from top. So I flip the direction. Look at here. So based on our point map, we wanted more density of the walls in the center and less density of the walls around the inlet and outlets to avoid the pressure drop. And here is the results that we got. If I hide the channel A and channel B, this will be your. Thanks for watching. See you in the other videos.